How to defeat your fear of spiders. So, you're afraid of spiders, aren't you? Sometimes you wonder, why does this multiple-legged animal have to exist and creep you out? While you might have seen people having fun handling a spider and letting it crawl on their arm, you would freak out at the thought of a spider sharing a room with you. Perhaps you have a fear of spiders. Let's talk about that in this video. Welcome to How to Defeat Your Fear of Animal series. This is the Life Hack Lion, the channel that gives you amazing life hacks and interesting facts. Make sure to watch this video till the end because the last step helped me a lot to defeat my fears of spiders. Fear of spiders, or arachnophobia, is a common phobia that can be debilitating and interferes with your life. A phobia in general is an uncontrollable, irrational, and persistent fear of something, while arakhne is a Greek word that refers to spiders. So, arachnophobia is the irrational and uncontrollable fear of spiders. This petrifying fear is a lot more common in the Western societies than it is in the East. About 55% of Western women and 18% of Western males have symptoms of arachnophobia. In each person, it has different intensity and sometimes can surface only in certain situations. Fortunately, there is a way to overcome that fear so you will not just freeze upon seeing a spider, but you will know what to do. Bear with me as I lead you through each step to defeating your fear of spiders. Before we get started, please get a pen and piece of paper because you need to be taking notes on this. You can pause this video to give yourself some time to get them. So, you have them now? Okay, let's get started. Step number 1. Understand your fear of spiders. Here, you will determine first the origin of your fear. In most cases, the fear of spiders is inborn and it's a part of our evolution. However, very often that fear may have worsened due to your personal experience. It might be in your early childhood or even earlier. You might have forgotten the logical memory of the event, but the emotion behind it is still lingering within you. So, try to remember when it first started for you. Then ask yourself, why is it that you are so scared? What is it about them that makes them scary to you? When you think about your fear of spiders and remember the first time you felt it, you should be able to evaluate your state of mind then and now, and finally reach a conclusion. Next, you need to understand the difference between a normal fear of spiders and arachnophobia. There are studies that suggest that fear of spiders is an adaptive trait. This means that your fear of spiders is normal. However, if that fear disrupts your life and makes your normal tasks difficult to manage, then you could have a phobia and it's better to seek the help of a professional. Step number 2. Learn the positive aspects of spiders. Sure, if you have fears of spiders, it's normal that you have a lot of negative thoughts about them. So you need to conquer that by learning more about spiders. This includes knowing which spiders are native to your area, which are harmful, and what they look like. For starters, here are a few fun facts about spiders. According to the National Geographic Society, there are more than 45,000 known species of spiders, found in habitats all over the world. Spiders range in size, from the tiny Samoan moss spider, which is about 0.3 millimeter long, to the massive Goliath bird eater, a tarantula with a leg span of almost a foot. Spiders are not interested in you because they have no motivation to go out of their webs. So if you see a spider crawling, it's only because it probably fell and it's trying to get back to its web. Even the most venomous spider would not attack you. Have you seen how big you are compared to a spider? For the love of its life, that tiny spider would never come close to you. Spiders are the best pest controllers in the world. They eat more insects than birds and bats put together. In fact, they are used by gardeners to eat vegetable-eating pests instead of using pesticides. Spiders are so helpful because they eat so many bugs a day, decreasing insect populations. If it weren't for them, we could be easily infested by insects. Once you know some hard facts about spiders, it's time to dispel common myths about them. Often, you are just misinformed of the dangers of spiders. So, you need to unlearn them and analyze if your fear of spiders is justified. Step number 3. Learn relaxation techniques. There are different types of relaxation techniques that you can learn to help you with your fear and anxiety. They include, but are not limited to, deep breathing, progressive muscle relaxation, and visualization. When you are anxious and afraid, you may react by breathing too quickly and hyperventilating. But this will only intensify your feelings of anxiety and fear, making the situation worse. So, what you will do is to practice deep breathing relaxation. Sit or stand somewhere where you're comfortable and keep your back straight. Put one of your hands on your chest and your other hand on your stomach. Take one slow deep breath in through your nose while counting to 4. Then, hold your breath while counting to 7. And exhale through your mouth while you count to 8. Repeat these until you feel calmer and relaxed. You can also perform progressive muscle relaxation, which can help you relieve muscle tension. Also, you might want to try a guided visualization where you listen to a recording of someone talking you through the process step by step. Fortunately, there are videos available online that will help you through these relaxation techniques. Step number 4. Create an exposure plan. Most treatments of specific phobias include some form of exposure to feared objects. So, you must face your fear to overcome it. If your fear triggers panic attacks or unmanageable anxiety, please do not try these self-help techniques and see a licensed psychologist or therapist to help you with your exposure therapy. In creating an exposure plan, you need to write down a list from 1 to 10. 1 being the situation that would bring you to the least amount of fear, and 10 being the situation that would bring you the most amount of fear. Think of the list as a ladder where you need to be comfortable first in each step before you proceed to another step until you reach step number 10. Here's an example of an exposure hierarchy. What is shown is just an example. You really need to make your own exposure plan and customize it to your liking. It's okay to start small and rearrange activities according to which you find the least scary to scariest. Remember, this activity is very subjective. So, what matters here is your opinion and what you feel about each activity. Next, you should determine how long you will spend on exposure therapy each week. It is very important to spend enough time for the exposure to work. So, try to set aside at least an hour for the exposure at least a few times per week. The longer you can commit to staying with the exposure, the more likely it is to work. Step number 5. Carry out your exposure plan. Once you have created your own exposure plan, you can begin defeating your fear of spiders as soon as possible. Start with the first item on your plan and rate your anxiety level from 1 to 10. 1 being the least amount of anxiety and 10 being extremely high anxiety. Carry it out repeatedly until you feel less anxious and fearful of doing it. Remember, be patient and take your time. Don't move to the next step too quickly. If you feel anxious, practice deep breathing relaxation. Then proceed to the next step. However, if you find yourself becoming increasingly anxious, you need to redo the previous step or stop exposure for a brief time. Also, don't forget to keep track of your progress. At some point, you will have to place yourself in the presence of a real spider. Make sure to call a trusted friend who can properly handle a spider and would not mock your fears or do something you're not ready for. Then, watch them hold the spider and see it crawl on his or her hand. Next, you can let your friend put the spider on a table and sit near that spider. Calm down. You don't have to touch it right away. Just be close to it and watch it. Finally, the biggest challenge is to let that spider crawl on your hand. Don't worry, it's always up to you when you will take this challenge. You don't have to rush it. Remember, apply what you have learned about spiders and focus on the idea that you have more control over the spider's life than it has over your life. Once you feel brave enough, try to handle a spider and let it crawl on your hand. If you did it without feeling anxious, congratulations, because you have defeated your fear of spiders. Lastly, practice regularly. The only way it's going to be successful is if you keep it up. If at all possible, practice daily. And if needed, you can also build a reward system into your exposure plan so you will be encouraged to work towards each step. If you're having a hard time doing all of these alone, you can seek a therapist to help you conquer your fear of spiders. Do you know some other tips for defeating one's fear of spiders? Or do you have any requests for our next video? Let us know in the comment section below. If you find this video interesting, we'd love you to support us for more life hacks and